Wars Galactic Battlegrounds is a real-time strategy game that was released for the PC and Mac in 2001. The developer of Battlegrounds was actually the same developer who made Age of Empires, and the visual comparison can't be missed. Not only are the visuals pretty much identical, but the game is pretty much identical as well. Is that a bad thing? Hell no. Some people felt like Battlegrounds was a cheap reskin of an Age of Empires game, a way to make a quick buck off the Star Wars license. While I can understand that viewpoint, it is undeniable that Galactic Battlegrounds is one of the best Star Wars real-time strategy games of all time. Granted, there are only like a total of 5 Star Wars RTS games? But Battlegrounds might just be at the top of that list. When it comes to RTS games, I rarely, if ever, play through the campaign. I think the only campaign I ever seriously played was StarCraft 2, but other than that, my love for RTS games pretty much lies in the quick matches, the straight jump into the fun skirmishes, where each team starts with a clean slate, the same amount of resources, units, and opportunities. You can either play slow and steady and build up a beefy defense, or just rush, build a few military units at a time, continuously send them to your enemy's base, and hope they get caught off guard. The diversity of experience is one thing that I've always been drawn to in strategy games. Every game is different. Every game requires a different strategy because every opponent is operating under their own different strategy as well. In a Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds normal match, you start with a command center, 3 workers, and a scout. In order to build more units and structures, you gotta gather resources, food, ore, nova crystals, and carbon. The more you gather, the more you grow. There are also little forward resource bases you can build so your workers don't have to travel as far to drop off their goodies. And the structures can also upgrade the gathering process of specific resources. So, in Battlegrounds, speed is key. Learn the hotkeys. It takes way less time to hit the period button and automatically select an idle worker than it does to find that idle worker on your map. Speed is key. The faster you gather, upgrade, and build, the better your chance of winning will be. 7 military buildings allow for a whole slew of different types of units to be built. The buildings are a Jedi/Sith temple, shipyard, mech factory, troop center, heavy weapons factory, airbase, and fortress. Each structure produces different units, and they're pretty self-explanatory. The Sith temple will produce Sith. The mech factory will produce light mech units used for anti-vehicle or anti-infantry. The troop center will produce troops. And just like the resource buildings have individual upgrades, so do these military buildings. You can increase your troops' armor, you can increase attributes of your mechs, your aircraft, you can turn your Jedi or Sith apprentice into full-fledged Jedi or Sith. It is ridiculously important to stay on top of upgrading your units, because when the battle comes and your dudes aren't as upgraded as your enemy's dudes, the fight will be over pretty quick. And there's no worse feeling in an RTS game than to see your guys just getting mowed down, knowing that you don't have a damn thing at your base to launch a counterattack or put up a defense with. So how do you win one of these random matches? Well, you can do one of 3 things. One way is to just obliterate every single building and unit that the enemy has. Another is to use your Jedi or Sith units to obtain all the random holocrons on the map. And you bring those holocrons to your Jedi or Sith temple, and then you have to keep them safe for 200 days. Which I've actually personally never seen done before. And the third way is to hit tech level 4 and build a big monument that has to stay alive and standing for 300 days. Does that sound familiar to all you who have played Age of Empires before? Yeah. Those 3 ways are the same 3 ways you win an Age of Empires match. You erect a giant temple, keep it safe, get all those relic thingies to your base, wipe out your opponent. Everything about this game screams Age of Empires. And there's nothing wrong with that. Still fun. There are 6 campaigns, including the tutorial. They are pretty much what you'd expect from an RTS campaign. Lead a small group of troops to point A, something happens, lead them to point B, make sure your hero character doesn't die, defeat the enemy, destroy this objective, rescue, infiltrate, all that kind of stuff. But like I said earlier, it is very rare for me to get into an RTS game and give a damn about the campaign, even if it is in the Star Wars universe. Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds is a really great strategy game. And of course, it has to give a ton of credit to the Age of Empires franchise. Everything that was in that franchise is in this game. It's basically Age of Empires. Despite the music being so damn loud, despite the glitchy pathfinding, despite the dated graphics, I think Galactic Battlegrounds is still worth picking up and playing. Since the Steam Summer Sale is going on right now, the game is only $2.39, and it's usually $6. So if you want to experience some classic Star Wars RTS gameplay, if you've never played this before, or if you want to revisit it, then pick it up and spend what you would on a gallon of gas. HelloGreedo, out.
Always with you, what cannot be done.